We use money every single day. You grab a coffee, you check your bank balance, you save up for something big. It's kind of just there in the background, shaping almost everything we do. But have you ever really, truly stopped to ask yourself, what is this stuff? Because the answer is way cooler than you might think. I mean, really think about that for a second. What if the cash in your wallet, the numbers in your account, what if it's all just part of a massive shared story that we all collectively agree to believe in? And boom, that's the whole secret right there. The real magic of money isn't the paper or the metal. It's our shared trust. It's the belief that if you accept it for your work today, someone else will accept it from you for groceries tomorrow. It's a system built entirely on faith. So let's start by peeling back that illusion. We're going to see that money, at its heart, is really just a brilliant tool that humans invented to solve a super old and very annoying problem. Okay, so way back in the day, long before coins or cash, if you wanted something, you had to trade for it directly. This is called bartering, and while it sounds simple, it was actually a huge headache. So here's the fundamental problem with bartering. It needs what economists call a double coincidence of wants. Just imagine for a second, you make shoes and you need rice. Well, now you have to wander around and find a rice farmer who, at that exact moment, just so happens to need a new pair of shoes. I mean, what are the chances? It was so inefficient. Money was the genius fix for this. So, how do we solve it? Well, first, people started using commodities, stuff that pretty much everyone found useful, like salt or pretty seashells, as a kind of go-between. But eventually, we landed on something way better, precious metals like gold and silver. And that led directly to the invention of the first coins. Now, this was a real game changer. When a government or a king stamped their official seal on a piece of metal, they were basically guaranteeing its weight and its purity. All of a sudden, you didn't have to carry around a set of scales to weigh every single coin in a transaction. You could just trust the stamp. And that trust, it unlocked commerce on a whole new level. But you know how it goes. As economies got bigger, a new problem popped up. Lugging around giant, heavy bags of gold and silver coins wasn't just a pain, it was also super dangerous. You were basically a walking target for thieves. So humanity needed another upgrade. And the solution that emerged was actually pretty clever. People started leaving their heavy gold with a local goldsmith or a banker for safekeeping. In return, they'd get a piece of paper, a receipt, that said, yep, you have this much gold stored with me. Pretty soon, people realized it was way, way easier to just trade the paper receipts themselves instead of constantly going back to the bank to haul out the actual gold. That paper was worthless on its own, but it represented real value stored somewhere safe. And if this is starting to sound familiar, well, it should. That digital number you see on your banking app today, it's the exact same idea. It's just the modern version of that paper receipt, a promise from the bank that represents value you can use whenever you want. And that brings us right up to today's financial system, where, let's be honest, most money isn't something you can even hold. It's almost entirely digital data flying through computer networks at the speed of light. Just think about the last time you bought something. You probably tapped your card or your phone, right? What was really happening there? No bag of cash moved from your house to the store. Nope. Your bank just sent a quick digital message to the store's bank, and they both updated some numbers in their spreadsheets. Your balance went down, the store's balance went up. The whole thing took, 2 seconds? It's just a super fast transfer of information. Okay, now here's a concept that really bends your brain a little. We tend to think of banks as just these secure warehouses for our money. But they do so much more. When a bank gives out a loan, like for a car or a house, it doesn't just pull from a big vault of other people's savings. It actually creates new digital money right then and there. That new loan adds to the total money supply. It's this ability to create money through lending that fuels a lot of economic growth. So, who's in charge of all this? Who makes sure the whole system doesn't just fly off the rails? Well, that's the job of a central bank. A good way to think of them is like the air traffic controller for the entire economy. They manage the flow of all this money to try and keep things running smoothly and prevent total financial chaos. Now, one of the biggest, trickiest things central banks have to manage is inflation. We all hear that word, but what is it? Put simply, it's what happens when there's more money floating around in the economy than there are things to buy. When you have too much money chasing too few goods, well, prices go up. So what does inflation actually feel like to you and me? Well, that dollar in your pocket is still a dollar, but its buying power goes down. The same amount of money buys you less stuff than it used to. You feel it every time you go to the grocery store and your bill is higher for the exact same cart of food. So, money has gone on this incredible journey from barter to coins to paper to digital numbers. But the story is not over. Not by a long shot. Technology is pushing money into its next evolution right now. I mean, we are literally living through this next chapter. You have digital wallets on your phone. You can send money to a friend as easily as sending a text. And then you have these huge new ideas like cryptocurrencies that are challenging the very idea of a traditional bank. The goal, as always, is the same. Find faster, easier, and more efficient ways to exchange value. But when you take a step back and look at this whole amazing history, you see one powerful, unchanging truth. It doesn't matter if it's a seashell, a gold coin, a number in a bank's computer, or a line of code on a blockchain. The technology always changes. But the one thing that has to be there for any of it to work is trust. We have to believe that it has value. So, as we've seen, money is one of the most powerful inventions in human history. It's a tool, a technology, built on an invisible foundation of shared trust. And understanding how it really works, that's the first step to having more control over your own financial life. Which really leaves us with just one final thought. Now that you know the story of money, how are you going to use it to write yours?